Can't Run Away, which is one of the very first songs professionally that I
Mm-hmm.
recorded in a professional studio out in Jersey. And I actually was like kind of iffy on that song for a while, but that was my mom's favorite song. So I was like, you know what? She would kill me if I don't try to breathe life into this song,
Mm-hmm.
because when I put that song out, I was going by Viction. Then we had Baptized. Let me bring that back. And, I did a listening session for a band. Shout out to Crank Up the Silence. And, they were trying to figure out what I was talking about in Baptized. And I think some people may still not know what I'm talking about. Like, okay, baptized in holy fire. Like, what are you trying to say? And so basically, the objective of the song, for those who don't know, I was burned as a child from the waist down. My dad. Um, we could say dropped me in boiling hot water. We can say forced me into, as a form of punishment. I don't know. All I know is that happened to me as a child. I'm fine now. We're good. But that happened, and it was me just, you know, once again, that chapter that we don't want to look at. Maybe if we actually tell that story, maybe it'll help somebody. So I told the story in a way where I take the power from it. So, and it's something that was very traumatic that happened. Like, God baptized me and burned me so I can be ready to be burned by the world, and I can be ready to take on whatever challenges, whatever comes my way. He already prepared me from when I was a kid. And that's
Okay.
pretty much the focal point of Baptized. My first love,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's another song that a lot of people really enjoy. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very honest song, and a lot of times people think I'm talking about my first girlfriend or the first
Mm-hmm.
person I fell in love with. I mean, you could use that as a reference point, but my first love, which I think any guy, like boy growing up, the first person that you love the most is your mama,
Mm-hmm.
right? So my mama hurt me, right? I have mother issues, right? I was homeless. I was verbally abused. It skewed how I dealt with women. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what that song is about. So then when you go to Dear Mama, which is actually a song from a song called Girl that is on my Unplugged album, I mentioned it. Donna, my first love, you know what I'm saying? I'm so glad to call you my girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a reference point of I'm taking ownership. Once again, that chapter with my mom in it, that relationship wasn't so great. But let me turn this chapter and say, I'm proud to call you my mama. Not, damn, you's a bitch. Fucking hate you. You kicked me out. You the reason why I can't trust women. You the reason why this. You the reason why da 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 da. I was like, no. You taught me what what woman I want, and you taught me what woman I don't want. And let me
Mm-hmm.
take that chapter and let me own it. Let me memorize it, and let me take full accountability of also my part in that relationship, right? Because we're all, we expect our parents to be perfect, but we're not perfect children,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, it's like your parents are doing the best they can to take care of you in this crazy world, and maybe you out there acting up. Maybe you want to follow the crowd. Maybe you going into peer pressure while they trying to steer you from that. And you want to go because you want to touch the fire. It's just like the kid playing with the outlet, and he keep putting his hand in you, telling him not to do it. So, I think that it's imperative that we once again take those chapters and embrace them, and that's it's probably my favorite song I've written in my whole life. That's probably my favorite song that I've written.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like you can feel the emotions and everything from that.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like, you have that serious part and then, you have wife swapping,
Yeah,
so
so so the song Wife Swap is a song I did for an independent film. And so I did it quick, it's really just honestly I was just trying to make some money just to be real. And it turned out to be the song that everybody liked. Like it turned out to be a song that a lot of people would send me messages about on social media when I was on there because I've been off for about a year now. But it was like a song that I could not get away from. So I was like, you know what? Let me put this on the album as a way of having fun. The last song on there is called Casket Drop. So the last song on there is called Casket Drop. Once again, another one of them songs where people hitting me up, man, this song you going crazy. So it was a song that I literally when I came up with that song, I was listening to Lupe Fiasco, and he had a song called, I think it was called Cake, that he had just put out, where he was just being very lyrical miracle, right? I was like, could I do that? And it was really a freestyle, practice of me. These words scope like pottery, illustrating philosophy, infiltrated, demonstrated, biocryptic philosophy, apocalyptic prophecies, odyssey. I was just kind of like freestyling, seeing what big words I can use, and that's what came of Casket Drop. And basically, it's kind of once again projecting Forging the Fire live album. What you hear on this live album is what you will hear given the chance to experience the Vince B experience on a tour, right? This is what we're bringing to the table.